185milessouth.com.
Smash that Patreon button.
What's up, everyone? This week on the pod, we are going behind the paywall. We're peeling back that Patreon curtain, and everyone on the main feed is going to check out kind of what we do over on Patreon. So I hope you all enjoy it. You know, this podcast comes out on the main feed every other week, but every other week we do a Patreon episode. And every other week so far, right? We haven't missed yet. Don't hold me to it. We may miss one day. Give me a break. But for now, every other week we do an episode on Patreon. On the Patreon, we let our hair down if we got any, get a little looser. I'm not totally strict on keeping it 100% hardcore all the time. So we get into some other shit, it is what it is. This week, we got into the best and worst Metallica songs. And so that's something fun to talk about. Everyone loves Metallica, at least that old shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's something we can all agree upon. And everyone hates that new shit. Something else we can all agree upon. So everyone, handle business. Patreon.com is where it's at. There's a link on the website, 185milessouth.com. There's a link in the show notes. And handle business. Smash that Patreon button. Help keep this podcast alive. And check it out. I hope you enjoy this episode.
I said forget about it, cuz.
What's up, everyone? We are back on Patreon because we love you. Helping out. Dude, you know him, you love him. It is episode 1. It is the legend, Joe Rivas. What's up, Joe?
I have returned. Yes, again.
That is correct. Also, but now you also know him and love him. It is the best dressed man on this pod. It is Daniel Sant. What's up, Dan?
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Dude, we're so going to get into it. And also up and out, you know him, you love him. It is my main man, Roger Camaro. What's up, Roger?
What's up?
What's up? Okay, dude, we did Slayer, so we got to do the other one, right? We got to do Metallica. And it's so funny, dude, because we hear the references of the big four, and it's like, there's 2, and then like the other 2 are getting fucking bodied. Megadeth and Anthrax, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? What the fuck is this shit? Just put Slayer and Metallica twice. You know what I mean?
Or just add Maiden and Priest and make
I know, like put some other bands that like are actually like fucking sick. You know, like Megadeth and Anthrax, like 2 bands where I can't fucking stand the singer to the point that I don't want to listen to the records. You know what I mean? It's like Anthrax, they get a new singer, and it's like, well, I don't like you either, dude. Go away. Stop it.
What? You don't like Tony, what's his name, from Who's the Boss singing?
Anyway, okay, so we're going to do a Beauty and the Beast on Metallica. And because we got 4 people this time around, we are not doing 3 and 2. What we're going to do is we're going to do 2 best songs, 1 worst song, and then we're doing a swing song. So you can either choose a 3rd best song or you can choose a 2nd fucking shithouse song. And we will see how it breaks out. Dan, what is the order of the picks?
We just rolled the dice, and it is me first, then Roger second, Zach third, and episode 1, the OG Oxnard. The OG Oxnard. Is it Oxnardian? Would you say someone from Oxnard is an Oxnardian?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. The OG Oxnardian repping the Nard curse. He got snake eyes.
Well, he got Nard cursed before any of us, so this is fitting.
Yeah.
That's true.
I appreciate that. Roger, what is your experience with Metallica? What do they mean to you? How do they come into your life?
Oh man. Well, they're childhood one of my favorite bands. Childhood favorite bands. 3rd grade had show and tell, brought Master of Puppets to play. So that's an indication of what they were to me. Lasted pretty strong all the way through the Black Album, and then, then there's the other stuff.
Yeah, what is your favorite record overall?
I would say through life, up until maybe a couple of years ago, I'd say easily Master of Puppets, but I think now it's Ride the Lightning.
Interdasting. Okay, Joe, what's your experience with Metallica?
Oh man. Well, I started listening to them on Ride the Lightning and a whole lot of weed and other drugs back when I was still doing that stuff. Because it was pretty popular with everybody. And it kind of fell out about the same time as Roger. That I just gave up on them probably a little bit sooner because the self-titled Inner Sandman record was kind of garbage. So
I'm with you, Joe. What's your favorite record?
I don't know. It's probably Ride the Lightning as well.
Well, Joe, I think you need to Ride the Lightning. You are sounding so mellow right now, like you're back on that weed. You need to shove some metal up your ass right now.
Joe's on that Keef. Keef don't count. Dan, what's your
Although
experience with Metallica?
Off that.
My very first experience with Metallica was so in school, do you remember like when you would have a compass? In like geometry or whatever.
Dan, we grew up in Oxnard. What is this fucking Warrington, England shit?
Yeah, okay.
You remember when you were walking around school with a compass? No, dude.
Not a compass like that where you would find what true north, like a compass
to
like,
make circles.
To make circles. You know, it has a point on it. Anyway, this kid was basically scratching the entire cover to Master of Puppets into a desk. And I was like, what is that graveyard? And he's like, this is fucking Master of Puppets, you fucking... I don't know, he may have called me a puff or something. I don't know. But I was like, oh, what is that? You know, and he's like, it's just the fucking best band. Because it's Simon Tomlinson, is this kid. I somewhat respect his opinion because he loved Maiden so much. I think I've told a story on the past where he turned in the lyrics to Run to the Hills as it was his own poem and got an A.
I respect that, dude, because I've said on the pod before, Ryan turned in Youth of Today Break Down the Walls as a poem and got an A.
That's so awesome. So I went to the library and I took out Master of Puppets and Skid Row 18 and Life.
Sick.
And the poser in me liked Skid Row a little bit better at the time. But the more I listened to Metallica and the more I got into heavier stuff, I loved it. But by the time the Black Album came out, I really loved them. And I remember coming over on holiday, and my dad took me to the warehouse to get one ticket because no one would go with me. One ticket to Body Count, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses at Jack Murphy Stadium, and it's when James Hetfield had been burned, so the Metal Church guitar player was playing, and it was so fucking sick.
Yeah, dude. And then they would burn us for the rest of their career. Yeah, for me, like I was into like butt rock, like Motley Crue a lot, like in 4th grade and then 5th grade, and then like someone gave me And Justice for All, and I remember listening to it in like 5th grade and like it kind of being scary to me. Like it sounded scary, right? Like it's a dark sounding record, and still, like I think it's like a darker sounding record than Master of Puppets. And then the Black Album comes out, I think when I'm in 6th grade, and I don't know, like, dude, if you're a fucking 6th grader, you love Inner Sandman, like straight up. There's no way to not like that, you know. And I liked the Black Album when it came out, but like, I didn't like it for that long because like I get into punk like a year or two later, and like, I don't know, this album, it didn't hold up in my teens. Like I didn't like it anymore. Although I still liked like, you know, the first 4 records. And even then, like, I don't know, like And Justice for All fell off a little bit for me. And I just kind of liked the first 3. And then like Kill 'Em All fell off a little bit for me because like it sounds thinner. And I think only half of it's great. So like in the last 20 years or something, I'm kind of down to Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets. But yeah, I mean, like this was one of my favorite bands for like years and years. And like, we're doing this episode. I didn't do any homework. I'm just going to decide as we go. Like, so I know it well enough that like, whatever, I can choose all my songs without taking notes and shit. The first time I saw him, my dad took me and Ryan and his friend Lamont came, and we saw him. It was on that Live Shit Binge and Purge tour. So that's like the tour after their Black Album tour. They played at Cal State Dominguez Hills in Los Angeles on like the soccer field. It was them, Suicidal Tendencies, the band Fight with Rob Halford, and I can't remember. I think Candlebox, like some shit. Like I think because Alice in Chains was going to play, and like they fell off because a dude was going into rehab or something, and they're just like, oh, it's early 90s, like chuck another fucking long hair alternative band on there, and it was Candlebox. The show was out of control, dude. Like, I mean, I remember like it being packed as fuck, and like just vatos, like they drop fucking fireworks, and like that would like, create a little circle, and then dudes would just start fucking circle pitting during Suicidal. It was so sick. And then I just remember like a bunch of different vatos like yelling like, hey, play some old shit, because like they were playing like whatever the fuck their shit was at the time. It's like I just remember like fireworks and fucking people yelling, play some old shit, but like it was still just going off, you know what I mean?
Something they'll hear for the rest of their careers.
That's right. And it's funny. So like Lamont was like, okay, like people slam for Suicidal, but like people don't like slam for Metallica. It's going to be chill. So like, let's go all the way up front. And so we went up front, and we're like in the second row behind like the fucking barrier. And like, I don't know, like this is in 93, 94. I think it's the summer between my 7th and 8th grade year. So I'm already like, I'm pretty pudgy. I'm not super tall yet, but I'm not like a child. Ryan Fredette's like a year younger than me. Like he straight up hasn't hit puberty yet. Like he's still a child, right? And so we're chilling there, waiting for Metallica to play. And Lamont asked my dad, like, hey, you want a beer? And like my dad's like, all right. So like Lamont just like cuts to go get beer. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like you gotta make it all the way out. Like you gotta go through like fucking 7,000 people to the beer line. You know what I mean? And you're gonna find your way back. Anyway, he comes back like right when like the lights go down. You know what I mean? And like they start playing whatever their intro song is, and like shit just starts like getting wild, right? Like you're in like the gnarliest like rip current ever. And then they open with that song Bread Fan, which is a cover song, but it doesn't fucking matter. It's just chaos, right? And the whole place is like fucking going nuts. And like we're like, oh my God, we're gonna die. This is fucking hilarious. And so Lamont is like this like 6'5", like former like linebacker dude. And like Ryan's gonna go down, so like Lamont just chucks him on his shoulders and is just like fighting off like all these fucking long hairs, you know what I mean? And like me and my dad, we get sucked back together like in this fucking gnarly rip current. Probably in 2 songs, we get sucked back like, I don't know, like 100 yards or some shit, and end up like in a pretty chill spot, still pretty close. But like that show was out of this world. And I remember when they played like Fade to Black and shit, like they fucking crowd surfed like some dude in a wheelchair, like all the way from the back to the front. So sick.
And
But
then
anyway.
he's just up there by himself, and his friends are like 10,000 feet away.
Yeah, they dumped him over the barrier, and they're like, "Oops, sorry, bro." But yeah, I saw him then, and then I saw him on Lollapalooza '96, and that's it. That's like the only times I've ever seen him. So, Dan, you saw him at Jack Murphy. What were they like?
They were so sick. They were so sick. The set list was rad because I absolutely loved the Black Album at the time. It had just come out.
Mm-hmm.
They had all Pusshead merch. They had giant Pusshead backdrops. James was just singing, and the only bummer is that it was light out while they played. Yeah,
because Guns N' Roses demanded to headline.
Yeah, and also the halftime show between Metallica and Guns N' Roses, I was not ready for, but I, as a 15-year-old, I absolutely loved. It was like whoever's on the camera at the stadium would just focus on some pretty girl, and then she just pull a top up, and then it would go to another girl, and that went on for like an hour in between the pans. And I mean, that was just like, oh, and then later on, I'd see like the film Heavy Metal Parking Lot, and I was just like, oh shit, like that's what it was like. And I primarily, like, no lie, went for body count. Like, I stayed for the other two bands because I liked them both, but body count was the reason I really wanted to go.
Have you ever seen them since?
I've seen them one more time, and it was like around the time they came through, like I think Death Magnetic, because someone at Super 7 hooked up the tickets for a bunch of us because he wrote Murder in the Front Row, the book. Mm-hmm. And so he's friends with them all, and like this is when Super 7 was a smaller company, and we got to go, and they played a lot of old shit. So, even though, they've got new records to promote or whatever, they still know, like, we've got to play the real deal shit too. And it was good.
Roger, how many times have you seen them?
I've seen them once on the Death Magnetic tour.
How was it?
Yeah. Aside from watching Lars run around his drum set like a little kid hitting like cymbals and random shit, they were pretty fucking awesome. And they did minimize the amount of newer songs in the set list. It was mainly, bangers.
Yeah. Joe, have you seen them?
Yes.
When did you see them?
Like just after they did Justice, so on the Justice tour with like Faith No More, and I don't remember who else played. Somebody. Then I saw him on the Black tour. In Chicago, I got free tickets from the USO.
Oh, hell yeah.
When I was in the Navy, and I called I called Donnie from the Loudhounds, rest in peace, buddy. I called him from the lobby of the venue, I don't know, somewhere in Chicago, and like, listen, like screaming to him because he was going to see him in like 3 more days or whatever, because Los Angeles was the next show. And then he calls me. I talked to him like a week later. He's all, dude, the show was exactly like you said. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't even remember being there. Like, I was so drunk. It all comes to me now because I've seen pictures from me and my buddy that went and stuff. But yeah, and then I saw him on the Reload tour or whatever that was. Mm-hmm. So what, like 97-ish.
Yeah.
And these guys, it was at the Forum, the Great Western Forum, or whatever it's called now. And they had a banner that was probably stretched like 30 people. They were on the front of the 300 section, so the top, right? And it stretched 30 people. It said, "No new shit." Giant. It's so big. It was the best thing ever, dude. I'm all, fuck yeah, dude. Metallica, fucking metal fans don't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah. Dude, it's so sick. Yeah. I saw Lars one time when I saw Iron Maiden at the Forum, and it was after the show, like the lights were on, everyone was leaving, and he like walked by me, and he was tiny, dude. And he had like 4 like fucking gorillas, like just big ass bodyguards with him. And that's all. Okay, let's get into it. Let me see here. Dan, amazing. Dan rolled to get to go first again. This is like 15 times in a row. Nothing rigged over here, people.
So convenient.
They're timestamped. You see that? That?
Dan gets so sensy when you accuse him of rigging this, even though it's rigged. Yeah, Dan, what is the best Metallica song of all time?
All right. Obviously, we've talked about having first pick in these situations. Sometimes it's like, oh, you end up like almost screwing yourself because you're like, oh, but if I forget that or whatever. But I just got to go with like the best opening riff into a song. It just is the best. Seek and Destroy.
All right.
I love it so much. Like the way it starts and then the all right, like it's just so good. And then the way it descends, that riff like descends, and then I don't know, it's just so good. And then the lyrics are fucking sick about like running around town looking to destroy people. It's so ill. I love it. Like, and the way that while it still sounds so hard, it's still so catchy with the searching, seek and destroy.
Yep.
And it's almost got like an element of like core to it with the seek and destroy. Like if they went to Normandy, just got some epic backups on it, it could really be, like that. I really love it. What do you think?
I think it's up there. This is not a bad answer for like the best song. That riff is like a riff that every single 13-year-old kid wants to play, like off the bat. It's like you're hooked. And then the whole song, mid-tempo banger, right? Like, yeah, sick choice. What do you think, Roger?
Yeah, it literally makes you have to bang your head.
Yep.
And I mean, they had the gift. They were so brutal. The riffs were fucking equally catchy and like just savage, but still James Hetfield had this knack for just being so fucking catchy, but so hard at the same time. Right off the bat, starting with the first record.
Yeah, I mean, like this and Four Horsemen off the first record, it's like they're fucking pop songs. You know what I mean? It's so good in that way. Joe, what do you think about this one? Joseph.
Sorry about that. I had my mute on. Seek and Destroy is probably my favorite song on Kill 'Em All, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a Mustaine song, but yeah, you were trying to describe James's voice, especially young James in this case, and it just has that perfect raspiness, but then he's like carrying it right into melody, which you wouldn't normally hear sort of in metal for a long time. I mean, this kind of metal, all the other thrash bands at the time did not sound like this, like what James is doing. Holding out notes and stuff like that. That's all.
For sure. Roger, what's the best Metallica song?
Dude, I have a kind of extensive list of what any one of them could be the best, in my opinion. This is really difficult.
Well, give us one off of Lulu then.
Oh my god!
I know. Don't fuck with our picks. Then yeah, go back catalog.
I just have to do it, man. Master of fucking puppets.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You got to do it. I have to do it.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's the fucking song that like changed my life forever.
It's hard.
It's still like literally hard to play on the guitar. It still hits as hard as it did when I was in fucking third grade as I am fucking 44. So there it is.
Dude, it's that, the whole song goes, but like that sequence, like at the end, like the super melodic part. See, here's the thing about Metallica, dude. Like they started sucking with the Black Album, and like even if you want to give them that one, whatever. Their whole career has been like oh, we got to capture like that original, like we're going to go thrash again or whatever. Like I remember with like, I don't know if it was Death Magnetic or the one after that. I remember being at the PB pub and like someone was trying to pitch me like, dude, they're back. They're playing thrash again. And it's like, who gives a fuck, dude? There's like bands that do thrash better than Metallica, like way better, dude. Like Slayer bodies them. Exodus bodies them. You know what I mean? Like fucking so many bands fucking body them with thrash. Like what makes Metallica special is the fucking pussy parts, dude. You know what I mean? Like that's why they're the biggest band in the world. Like they wouldn't be if like every song sounded like fucking, you know, like Fight Fire with Fire. You know, it's like people want like the it sounds like fucking people riding horses around a fucking castle, dude. You know what I mean? And like, you know, you just lost your best friend and you're going back to fucking battle to avenge his death. You know what I mean? Like, but it's that like emotional moment before you like switch the fucking switch and like you're back into anger mode. You know what I mean? Like no one else does parts like that. And like when you're listening to it, it's like, okay, this isn't that difficult. Like you could play some of these parts as a 16-year-old, right? Like these epic pussy parts. Like it's what makes them so great. And Kirk's solos. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This is a great pick. This is like one of the greatest songs of all time. Like straight up, every single piece of it, you know, from like that first cymbal choke all the way through like that part I'm talking about and then bringing it back in, you know, like good God, man. It's 8.5 minutes and it needed every fucking second. What do you think, Dan?
Well, that's what I was going to say. How do you like how long it is? You know,
Doesn't feel like it because it's fucking perfect.
It doesn't. Yeah. It's like an opus, dude. Like it's like a legit ass opus. Like, you know, that they can never touch again. They never did it after this record ever again. There's not a single song on And Justice for All outside of like, you know, one is close, but they never touch anything like this record again. You know, nothing is good. I don't know. What do you think, Joe? Oh, what do you think, Dan?
I mean, I love the song, but I love the little just kind of like production things in here that even enhance how good of a song it is with like when he does the obey your master and it's got the reverb on the vocal. It's like, master.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't hit on the second line, you know, I don't know. It's just so good. Yeah. Great pick.
Dude, some of this stuff, like, it's like fucking Star Wars, though. Like, I don't even know what's original or not anymore. We're on, like, the 27,000th, like, remastering. You know what I mean? So, like, and I'm just listening to it on Spotify. Like, I haven't listened to one of these on vinyl in, like, I don't know, 10 years.
Pop Rock didn't get his hands on this, did he?
Hell no.
I know, right? But, like, it's afterwards. Like, yeah, that's right. He might have, right? Afterwards. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Joe, you want to speak on this song before I take my number one?
Say again?
Do you want to speak on this before I take my number one?
It's a banger. There's not much to say. It's just phenomenal from start to finish, like you guys said. And again, you don't realize it's 8 minutes and 36 seconds or whatever it is, right? Like how did that happen?
Yeah,
but you don't feel that.
100%. I'm going to take a 8.5 minute song off the same record too. I'm taking a song that we get to enjoy 8.5 minutes of James Hetfield shutting the fuck up, and that is Orion.
Yes,
dude, that fade in, you know, like, and it's just on that riff, the dun 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 dun. It's like it's just one of those riffs that's so simple but so good. Like I could listen to it on loop forever. You know what I mean? And like that next part that goes like, and then Lars starts just doing like those accents on like the hi-hat. It's like, God damn, Lars had a good idea. You know what I mean? And he's probably doing it to show off, like, hey, don't forget about me. But like it works. So good. And then of course, like the fucking part where it cuts out and it's like, dude, this is totally Metallica aping fucking Rime of the Ancient Mariner. It's like the next year, but like that fucking bass part, like that cliff, the do 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 do. and then the lead that comes in on the top of that, good God, man. That's like the shit that they could never touch again. You know what I mean? It's like, again, like I said, like who gives a fuck about them like writing a thrash song? It's like write one of these fucking parts, dude. You know what I mean? Like this is a stuff that like is completely untouchable. And yeah, it's my pick. What do you think, Roger?
Yeah. Only fucking Metallica can make a song that long with no vocals and have you hooked the entire time. And the thing that, sure, they're trying to like bring back the thrash or whatever, that's cool and all, and I respect that they're, you know, pretty old dudes doing this these days, and I give it up to them for that. But the thing that's been long gone that they were truly the masters of were James and Kirk's ability to harmonize,
yes,
and write guitar riffs that like created these textures. And Orion is like a perfect example of that, you know.
I think that is because like they became such a big band and they're only listening to themselves, and they're like, okay, we got to recreate what we did before, so like we're gonna listen to our old shit. And it's like they come up with these harmonized parts because they were all fans of music then of other shit, right? Like they were coming off like being super fans of all that new wave of British heavy metal shit. And it's like, you know, the Judas Priest and the Maidens and like all that fucking shit has so much. What's that?
And that band Diamond Head.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff, right? So it's like that has all those harmonies. You know what I mean? And it's like they kind of just got in the cycle of trying to recapture themselves when it's like the way they landed on this magic was, you know, being influenced by other people. You know what I mean? But for like, you know, 30 years now, they think that they're the best thing on the planet, you know, because they were for a handful of years, you know, other than Slayer, you know, and Youth of the Day and Minor Threat, Black Flag. And
I like them better than Slayer in this era. That's why I wasn't on the Slayer pod.
Yep. Okay, Joe, you want to speak on this before you take it number one?
Yeah, Orion was my wild card. So, yeah, I definitely love that. I love Cliff's bass, you know, that breakdown when it gets all, you know, Black Sabbath-y. I mean, that's really where he's taken that from, you know, like Planet Caravan kind of thing.
Joe, do you think they wrote this song as being like, we're gonna fucking like lay people to waste with this live? Like, I feel like this sounds like a jam song that was built out of jamming at practice, that they were like, oh, this is gonna be like the one where we show them we can play type thing.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a recording of them playing it live either. So I don't know that I mean, maybe they tried it and it failed, and they're like, okay, we'll just stick with this other stuff, because they went out with, you know, Ozzy right away on Master Puppets tour, right? So like, or the Monsters of Rock thing too, right?
Yeah.
So I can't imagine Van Halen fans being stoked on hearing Orion for the first time, hearing Metallica period for the first time, and then them playing Orion, and they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, if we're trusting Setlist FM, it looks like they never played it until the year 2005.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
crazy.
That's a shame, because like I said, the Cliff bass is just so fucking pretty in there, you know. But yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, Joe, number one.
My number one, Creeping Death.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first record I bought, Metallica record, was the Creeping Death EP, which had like Fight Fire with Fire, and I don't remember what else was on there, but I should have looked that up before I fucking.
I will just keep talking about the song.
But you know, it's cool because it's about, you know, fucking Egyptian stuff, and you know, so it's still leaning a little bit into that the British heavy metal stuff, like we were talking about, before they stopped that stuff and started more into, I don't know, we'll call it reality based songs. I don't know how you'd say that, but yeah, I don't know. It's just a powerful song, and it's got a ton of cool parts in it, and yeah, it's cool.
Dude, the lyrics are so sick. Like
really
that
good.
To kill the firstborn Pharaoh's son, get the fuck out of here. It doesn't get any better, dude. The blood running red and strong down the Nile, plague, darkness 3 days long, hell to fire. Like, fuck, dude. This is a perfect song. It's a perfect song. And like, it's one of those things that like, okay, it's sick live when they're doing like the die, and they're doing it forever, but it's like, you know what's sicker, dude, is just playing this song how it is, like, because that die by my hand shit coming in and out of there, good God, man. And the solo coming off that part too, like, fucking A, this song's perfect.
Yeah.
What do you think, Roger?
Yeah. The first thing I think about is how hard it bangs live and how all those parts translate in, like, with the crowd and shit. It's, that song's powerful, man. That song's definitely on my list for sure.
And one of like the downstrum, like crazy songs, right? Like the picking for him to do this all downstroking is pretty fucking gnar.
It's yeah. I would say Master is still, that one that's a workout, but this for sure. Yeah.
For sure.
James
Dan, what do you want
Hetfield
to say about this?
Downstroke is no joke.
For sure. Dan, what do you think about this?
I love it. I mean, that die by my hand, die. Like, that part's just so epic. And then I just love the way, like he'll deliver the first, like, one line and then, to the Pharaoh. Like, his vocals sound so good on this song. Like, it's perfect, Hetfield. And then Kirk's solo is tasteful and fantastic. Really love it.
Number 2.
All right. I'm so psyched this is here because it might be my favorite. I didn't know which to go with first, like, to see if it would still be there. I'm going with track 1. It's always good when you go with a track 1 because they come out the gate just killing it. But this comes out the gate with an ethereal, like, mystical, beautiful, like, almost medieval riff. And then it launches into Battery.
Yeah.
First song on Master of Puppets. This is after Simon Tomlinson was scratching the crosses into that desk. This was the tape he brought me the next day, and this was the first song I heard, and holy fucking shit. Like, the way the acoustic intro comes in and then Battery, like, does the big building up, like, and then it just takes off. And what a fucking song. Like, it's giving the thrash, like, gallop, but there is, like, the harmonization there as well, just really slightly under it. Like, so it's a fucking hard as fuck verse parts, but it still has a little bit of, like, hidden melody. I don't know. It's just so good. And then, I mean, it's just straight up, like, it's almost fucking hardcore with Battery. Like, those parts are just, they're so sick. Like, it's, I don't know. It's in the time period of like hard music everywhere, like hardcore finding its own feet, but this is like hard as shit at the same time. But obviously there's a lot of excess in this world where there isn't in hardcore, but there is an element of, like, these dudes listen to hardcore as well. You can tell.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you listen to AF, like, they might have just swooped, like, their next fucking album title off of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is when I'm talking about like those super melodic parts, like the intro of this song is like out of this world. Like it's insane. And then, yeah, into a thrash song. Like this is great. This in the Master Puppets, like might be their best 1-2 punch there is. And then
this is their Blind Justice Last Warning.
That's right. It could be, you know, but I'll tell you what, there's no song as shitty as the thing that should not be on fucking Victim in Pain. Like, what a bore that song is. But hey, what are you going to do? We're not to the beast yet, so I shall not talk shit yet. Dan, this is a great pick. I love this song. Roger, what do you think?
Yep. This, when it starts off clean and epic, it's like, it really gets you fucking going, you know? And then it all busts in and you're like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is going on? But what I will say about this record, and especially how this song just kind of comes out of the gate, like Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning, they kind of drown in reverb, right?
Mm-hmm.
It still sounds huge, still sounds tight in its 80s kind of way, but Battery was like the first time you hear those riffs and you can actually hear the precision of like the guitar playing, and that's like unmatched, you know? And we could talk all kinds of shit about Lars, and but his drumming on this song and like how it goes from it just goes from downbeat to fast beat, and with his weird timing of fills, you never know what's happening until we've heard these songs a billion times now, so some of the most air drummable stuff now, but still you're like, what are you doing? But it works.
Yep. It works here, where like there's some of the stuff on Ride the Lightning where it's like, well, dude, I wish we had Lombardo, you know? Like if we just had a straight fast beat on some of these riffs, like it'd be so sick, because like he's doing the fucking snare on the one on a lot of those songs.
Yeah.
You know, like he does here, but like here he changes it up a lot from the snare on the one to like a straight fast to like going to like the mid tempo. He's like, you're right. He's so in and out of everything here. It really works. You know, Joe, what do you want to say on this?
It's a great song. I do love that intro, the acoustic-y thing, and then, you know, literally punching you into the song.
Yep.
Just pretty badass.
Yeah, like doing the same thing, right? From like that acoustic to like the kicking in the distortion, and it basically being the same, but like you getting two sides of the coin.
Yeah.
So sick. Roger, number 2.
You know?
You done fucked me.
Had to do it, man.
I know.
It's the most fucking epic beginning of us. I mean, the whole song is epic, you know? That bass.
Yep.
The way that's the entire song, its entirety. It leaves me speechless. I love it.
It might be my favorite vocal performance from him. Like that.
Yeah.
On the verses, so perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
This was going to be my third if it was still available.
It was my number 2, and I should have taken it number 1, I think, because I didn't think I'd be able to get it. I thought it was going first round or right about here, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm bummed. I got to figure out what I'm going to do here, because all my shit is getting swooped, dude. You guys got good taste.
Time marches on.
So many fucking options on here. Joe, what do you think about this one?
He's speechless.
I think you're on mute. Well, Daniel, what do you think about this one?
Sorry. I love it. And the bell, like, it's just... It adds so much, you know, like some people be like, oh, it's too... I don't think anyone says it's too literal, but the fact that it's there is just so amazing. And then, like, it does it's going through the whole da 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 like build up, and then it goes into the chin, 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 like the full like palm mute. Like, it sounds so hard and so evil, and so like, you know, back then in the era of these shows being played, people were getting fucking clobbered to this. I bet, you know. And then it goes to just ring outs, and the drums keep going, and the vibe is just so amazing on it. And then his vocals come in, and he sounds amazing on this song. You know, the way, I don't know, the confidence with his vocal, plus the you know, we always talk about this, when a verse is arguably better than the chorus, you know the song is amazing, and I feel you get that here. Or it's as good as the chorus, because the chorus is amazing too.
There's something to be said for like getting to be first to something, you know, like, and that's why no one can ever replicate this shit, is because think about like that riff on the chorus, just a dun 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 dun. It's like,
yeah,
dude, that's like blueprint shit. You can never do that again.
I mean, that's literally beat down hardcore riff.
But to be the first one to do that is like insane, and it's so sick. The verses, like the, you know, they're ringing out on it, and then it like gets riffy on the chorus. This is a great pick, Roger. I wish I had it.
Good pick.
I am going to take. I'll take one, just because like I don't love this record, dude, but I love this song. And
So
if I was gonna make a 5-song Metallica playlist that I only got 5 for the rest of my life, like I don't want to live without this song. And I love the intro part. Really, like, I think the back end of this makes it. I won't say it's like as drastic as Freebird, where it's like I only like the back half, but like the back half of this shit is where it's at. From like the of course, like that's apex shit when you're like fucking 12. You know, like it just sounds so sick. And really it holds up. Like that part never stops sounding sick. It's like so simple and so good. But like when it kicks fast off that, or like that mid-tempo, the mid-tempo up-tempo off it, goddamn, dude, Kirk is a fucking madman. Like this soloing is out of this world. And then one of my favorite Metallica parts there is like that final sequence when like they do that dueling harmony, when they're like that riff that goes, it's like, god damn, dude. Like they just knew how to like crescendo this song to like a riff like that, and it's like, fuck, it's a perfect song, dude. You know what I mean? Like straight up. I don't know. What do you think, Raj?
When I had this on CD, and it was great because I could just press repeat on this song over and over and over and over and again, you know, because it was the song I would just want to keep listening to. Then Blackened. But yeah, dude, that double bass part never gets old. The epicness of this song. The one thing, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I do love this song very much, but I feel like it was also the gateway to them going to like
Black Album.
Yeah, basically
100%. I mean, they made a huge deal out of it, right? Like this is the first song they're doing a music video for.
Yeah.
You know, of course, yeah. It's why, like, this is the song that fucking killed them, you know, but it's like, dude, that marshmallow right before it slides off the stick, that's when it's the fucking best it can be. You know what I mean? And then it just slides off, and that's the rest of their career. You know what I mean? Like, this is as far as you can take it without it like turning to shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Basically.
But god damn, it's so good. Also, like, one last thing I wanted to say on it was like, on the beginning part when they're on the clean channel, I love when they're they're hitting the single strings. That one part where it slides up, like the power chord slides up when it's all fucking A. It's that one little transition I love so much. Joe, what do you think about this one?
This song rules. It's definitely the catalyst to the suckage, but that's what money does, right?
Yeah.
Chasing that after. It sucks that you can't hear Jason at all, and
what bass?
All that. But
but
I do.
Then we heard Scatterbrain, and we're like, oh, it's a good thing we didn't hear him.
Yeah.
What was this fucking band?
Flotsam and Jetsam?
Yeah.
Something Brain, right? No, the one that when he left Metallica, it's like, oh, I want to do my own project.
Oh,
the one that Lars is shitting his pants watching, like, oh my god, they're really coming for us. Like, calm down, Lars. Fucking calm down. Get back to therapy because this band sucks.
Dude, for all the listeners, first off, shout out Patreons. You guys keep this podcast alive. Joe and Roger both haven't seen Some Kind of Monster, which is like one of the great, like, unintentional comedies in the history of cinema. It's like Some Kind of Monster and Grizzly Man. Like, they're the same type of fucking movie. Like, just people that don't know, like, how douche they are. And then, unfortunately, Metallica don't get eaten by bears. It doesn't have, like, the payoff of the other one. But, like, it is what it is. But, like, that's a moment, right? Like, yeah, it's like Lars is like, oh shit, like his new band's gonna take off. It's like, no, dude, it's a shitty bar band. You know what I mean? But, hey, what are you gonna do?
I will watch it after I recover from my listening to the post Black album, half of their career for this podcast.
you have to, because you can get something from the therapy, plus you will feel so much better from listening to all that garbage to watching them be the most fragile, like,
Yes,
pathetic people ever. And you're just like, will someone rescue Kirk, please?
I know. Like, that's like
rescue him.
That's the coolest. Like, Kirk just comes off like the coolest dude. It's like, oh, just a guy that wants to surf and play solos, but they won't let him. Like, you know what I mean? It's so fucked up. And then the best part is like when Lars's dad just bodies that song. Lars is so fragile. And it's like, so what do you think about this? And like, he's just like, I think if it was up to me, I would delete that.
What is the Danish word for shit?
Yeah, I know. So good, dude. Like, that dude is straight up King Euro. Like, they should have just elected him the King of Europe after fucking doing that.
Is Dave in it?
Just trying to join the band?
I know. Yeah, and then also, like, remember, like, they have to, like, the same thing with the psychologist. Like, he tries to join, and they just are like, "Hey, no, you're not a part of this." And like, that dude looks like he's gonna cry.
We're spoiling so much. We just gotta keep it, and then let them watch it, and then we've really got to dive into it. It'll probably be a 2-hour episode for the Patreon because it is so good.
Dude, I mean, I just don't think you can spoil that movie because I've watched it like 3 times, and every time it's better than the last.
Oh yeah, I've watched it probably 10.
Okay, so there you go.
I like Metallica the least out of all 4 of us, and I love the film so much.
I love it. Joe, let's go to you for your number 2.
My number 2, Disposable Heroes.
Ooh,
Master Puppets.
I like it.
I just love, like, every riff in that is just so freaking heavy and, just rad. I just lost my notes. I just deleted them. Damn it. But yeah, the song, it's also a super long song, 8:17. But that's because they have that fucking weird part in the middle. But even that's still super cool. So, yeah, I just love the heaviness of that. The intro, that first riff is just so good.
I think this is a sick track. Like, this is one of those tracks that makes this record. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'd call it like one of the standouts because I'd have the first 2 and the last 2 songs. Well, and Welcome Home Sanitarium. is like
but
probably
they're
the
already
big
been pegged,
five.
so.
But if you think about that, it's like, so this song, if I think this is the sixth best song on the record, it's so fucking good. And it's kind of what makes this one of the best albums of all time, right?
Yeah.
Is like, this is just like a normal ass song off this record. And it's like, well, there you go. You know what I mean? If this is like a straight down the pipe song on Master of Puppets, like it's just one of the best metal records of all time. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Roger?
Yes, sir. This album's. I mean, I can't say that this album's front loaded or back loaded, but I mean, it gets. I mean, it ends strong. You know
So
what I mean?
Yeah.
That chorus, that's a strong chorus.
This is a good ass song, dude. Straight up. On this record, I think the thing that should not be and Leper Messiah like suck, but that's it. I mean, they don't even suck that bad. They just like are boring. It's like if they got rid of those and wrote two more songs like Disposable Heroes, like cut in half, like what if we just had two more Disposable Hero 4-minute songs? You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, this is like, one of the greatest albums ever. I mean, it already is, right? But it's like we could even improve it more. So, okay, let's see what we got here. Are we back to Dan? You're third, so you get to choose because we have the swing vote. Are you going to take your first beast or are you taking a third beauty?
I'll take a third beauty.
Oh.
One thing I would say about Disposable Heroes before we move on, just really quick, like imagine if it was there's like 4 solo breaks on this song. So how maybe it is hardcore in 2024, but the one part that would be just so epic as a hardcore band playing it would be the "Why am I dying? Kill!" Like for sing-alongs, it would be so epic. Like putting the mic out in the crowd at those parts. Anyway, you know what I'm going for, and I don't give a fuck. Like the riff is just too good. Do you know what that is when I say the riff is too good?
You taking Seek and Destroy again?
Yes. I'm off to Never Neverland.
Oh, geez. Well, this could be a beauty or a beast.
It could be a beast for you lot and a beauty for me. And yes, I was played out on this song at certain points in my life, but that part after it does the like drumming build up and then the riff just like comes out in the proper part, it's so fucking sick. Yes. It's so good. Like, yeah, there's so much baggage that like Metallica fans who like the first 3 records are gonna treat this with, but as a standalone track in a vacuum, this is such a sick song. And I didn't really get to comment on one earlier, but one and this are both lyrically like brilliant, like conceptual songs of like giving you a whole like story. One is just a brilliant story of pain of like someone trapped in a body, but this about the Sandman and bringing you nightmares and everything, and I just think it's so good. I think it's really like a clever song, and hey, you may all banish me off to Never Neverland for picking this, but fuck it, I love this song.
I mean, if you strip away all the bullshit, right, that you've heard the song a million times, that it's Metallica like ending their era of writing great music, if you could rip that all away, I mean, it's a great song, right? Especially that part, there's that long ass build up, and then the switch to the hi hat, and then the da 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 da. It's like it's an undeniable part where you're gonna fucking bang your head, right? It's like it could have been like the Wayne's World Bohemian Rhapsody thing, right? It's like that level of a headbang. It's just
100%. Yeah,
it's just. It's kind of like it's pulling the curtain shut that you'll ever have like a Master Puppet song ever again. You know what I mean? And so I think that like it has that stink on it. We can't look at this like it's just like a good song because like, and also like I think it's the first song on the record, right? And it
Yes.
kicks some ass, but like the rest of the record like doesn't kick any ass. You know what I mean? So it's like,
You're so Beavis and Butthead right now.
well, I mean, like it's that era. I don't know. Roger, what do you think? Beauty or Beast? Inner Sandman?
Oh man, my younger self loves that song so much, but it just, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that song.
Well,
You
Roger,
know?
what I'm saying is like, think about it like Zach just got that. Like, think about it in a vacuum. You come across this song. Does this song fucking rip or what? I know it's connected to so much other stuff that does drag it down, but just think about it in its own entirety.
Yeah, it is a great song. It is a great song. It's hard to deny that. But if I can't think about that song and not also think about everything that came after it at the same time. It's impossible. So yeah, in the vacuum, yeah, I feel it. Yeah.
Are the Patreons going to call me a poser?
It's like, it's fucking Metallica, dude. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, this is like the most famous band on the planet for like 20 years running. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing underground or cool about this band anymore. Like, every single nook and cranny of every song has been like run over by a million people. Joe, what do you think? Is this a beauty or a beast?
It's a very good Excel song since it's basically their whole riff. But
yeah?
you know,
You got swooped from an Excel song?
it is. Listen
Which
to
one?
what tapping into the emotional.
Okay, we'll put it on the playlist.
Yeah.
You let me know, remind me, and we'll put it on the playlist.
They should sleep with one eye open so it doesn't come and get
Well,
stolen.
obviously the lyrics aren't, hush little baby, don't say a word. Come on.
And don't forget that noise you heard.
Come on.
Yeah,
Travis
that part
is
sucks, dude.
so bummed right now.
It's just the beast under your bed, guys.
In
Chill.
the closet in your head. Dude, that's the thing you got to say about this too, like that I didn't even touch on. Like his voice at this point, it's like he is just fucking, yeah, he's like trying to be a mix between like Eddie Vedder and Glenn Danzig, you know?
This
And
is
it's like,
before that, though.
it's 91, dude. Pearl Jam is there. You know what I mean? Like, this is dog shit, and he never sounds good again. In the closet in your head. Fuck off, dude. Because he has such a good shouting voice before.
What about
this
the ooh?
Ooh. Yeah. He's trying to sound like Harley on Best Wishes, dude. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure Bob Rock brought that to the thing. Yo, you know what I want you to sound like?
You gotta sound like Harley on Best Wishes, dude. No. I don't know. I watched
Dan. That Bob Rock playing with them, like at Super Bowl something or other, like for the Raiders. No, it was a playoff game for the Raiders. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
you got to.
He was in the band. He was in the band when they were doing that movie that we're talking about.
Why is Metallica playing for the Raiders though? That's an opportunity for Slayer.
Yes.
At that time, right? Especially Jeff was like a huge Raiders fan. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Fucking noodle, dude. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. Okay, Roger, you got your number 3 slot. Are you going to take a third beauty, or are you taking your first beast?
I love Metallica too much to take a beast, so I'm just gonna have to go with fucking Blackened.
Yeah,
because that song's fucking tight. Epic beginning to that record. Fast as fuck. Double bass. Searing double bass. That song's just intense all the way through. Of course, the recording of the record leaves much to be desired. But those riffs, that song, I'm down.
I mean, this record gets shit on for the recording, but I kind of do love the snare tone. I hate to say it.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's very snappy. But you're right. This is a great opener, dude. They did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick. It's sick.
It's so sick. It's the cultural next step after Get It Away. It's the next cigarette hating masterpiece.
Oh my god. Joe, what do you think about this one?
I love the way that the snare comes in. It's just that snare. Tat, 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 tat. I just love that. I've always loved that song.
Yeah. Dan, what do you think about this one?
I love it. I love the opposition. His vocals are still in the era that you love, while yes, there are, a little bit of, because they'll never use this like the way that his vocals are recorded with that like reverb / atmosphere on the way his vocals are recorded on these first 4 records. Like when his vocals go clean, that's when he overcompensates with the, hush little baby, it's the last hurrah of the way he sounded, so I love it. And I do love that it's an anti-smoking song. It's fucking sick.
Okay, what am I going to do here? Okay, I'm going to take 2 Beasts. Fuck it. I'm taking Unforgiven. I hate this fucking song. I can forgive Nothing Else Matters, right? Because that's a ballad, whatever. But to have 2 ballads on the record, get the fuck out of here. And it's like
both are singles too.
Both are singles, and then it's a song that just really reminds me how much I hate his voice. You know what I mean? It's like, so I dubbed the unforgiven. Yeah. I fucking hate this song, dude. And it's like, it's like they're writing a radio song, but it's 6.5 fucking minutes, dude. Why?
Because MTV
never free, never me. So I dub the unforgiven. This is like the anthem of like anyone in like a giant $80,000 lifted truck with a flat bill. You know what I mean? It's like the fucking army wife anthem. This song is bullshit. It's like everything you hate about Metallica. It's like why, someone being in heavy metal, you don't have a kinship with them anymore because this is probably their favorite fucking song. This song is bullshit, and I wish they got eaten by bears. Dan, what is your defense of this shithouse song?
I like when he drops the Macho Man parts and he goes, never felt, never shown. He shows a little fragility. He's giving us that. This is a track. I like it.
Roger, this song sucks, right?
All right. I wonder if there's an instrumental version of this song existing somewhere, because if you listen to the riffs on the verse, they're kind of hard.
Yeah, I'm sure they are, dude. But this is some Bob Rock bullshit, right? He's like, come on, James, make it a little more emotional. Never free, never me. No, a little more.
Yeah, you're right.
Fucking terrible.
You're right. I ate it up in grade school.
Dude. Joe,
I ate it up in grade school.
Joe, does this suck or is this great?
It sucks so bad.
Thank you. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed part of that. It continues on Patreon. So smash that Patreon button, dude. You know what to do. And check it out. Every other week we do an episode. There's stuff on there. There's like a part of our webpage you can go to and check out. There's some bonus shit up there too. And that's what's up. The rest of this podcast will continue on Patreon. And everyone, we'll talk to you again next week on the main feed.